Life is a journey full of peaks and valleys, challenges and moments of reflection that push us to discover who we truly are. For women who choose to live alone, the path towards self-awareness is one that requires courage, determination, and a deep connection with one's inner self. Living without a man by your side may seem like a bold choice in a society that often judges and imposes the idea of completeness only through others. But in reality, solitude offers a unique opportunity for growth and fulfillment, where each step taken is an act of self-liberation. In this context, the words of Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, provide an essential guide to understanding the profound value of living alone, confronting our inner world without the need for someone else to define or complete us. Carl Jung, in his search for individuation, frequently spoke of the importance of solitude as a space for growth. Solitude, according to Jung, is not the absence of relationships, but rather an opportunity to connect with our deepest self. It is through solitude that we can explore our emotions, our fears, our passions, and our dreams, without the filter or influence of others. For a woman who chooses to live alone, this process of self-discovery is essential to understanding who she really is and what she desires from life. There is nothing more powerful than being able to stand alone, to have the courage to face our vulnerabilities, and at the same time, to build our inner strength. In modern society, solitude is often misunderstood as a state of emotional loneliness. But in fact, it is an opportunity for introspection and growth. Living alone allows one to cultivate an authentic connection with our inner world, where we can explore our psyche without external distractions. Solitude offers us the chance to become aware of our emotions, learn to manage them in a healthy way, and develop emotional resilience that allows us to face any difficulty. It is a journey that takes courage, but it is also a path that leads to the realization of a more authentic and fulfilling life. Women who choose to live alone are building a deep bond with themselves, a bond that does not depend on external relationships, but is rooted in self-love and self-acceptance. It is not easy to live alone, especially in a culture that celebrates couples and family as the ideal model. But there is great beauty in this choice. Living without a man by our side allows us to explore our independence, learn to make decisions without relying on others, and discover our true strength. Solitude, when lived consciously, becomes an opportunity for growth and empowerment, where each day is a new chance to evolve and become the best version of ourselves. In this journey, women can find inspiration in the teachings of Carl Jung, who invites us to look within, explore the unconscious, and become more aware of who we are. Jung teaches us that an individual is never complete until they have explored all aspects of themselves, including the darker ones. Living alone gives us the opportunity to do exactly this, to face our shadows, discover our deepest fears, and learn to accept them. Only through this acceptance can we truly grow, evolve, and live a full and authentic life. Emotional independence is one of the most powerful aspects of living solo. A woman who lives alone has the chance to develop emotional self-sufficiency, which makes her stronger, more resilient, and more aware of her own needs. This doesn't mean giving up love or companionship, but rather learning to live a full and satisfying life regardless of external circumstances. Solitude becomes an emotional gymnasium where we learn to manage stress, overcome difficulties, and remain calm even in times of crisis. Women who choose to live alone are witnesses to extraordinary courage. They face the world with a determination that comes from within, from a love for themselves and an understanding that, to be happy, they do not need anyone to define their worth. This journey of self-discovery is an act of rebellion against social expectations and a step toward greater emotional and psychological freedom. On this journey of growth, women can find in Stoic philosophy a powerful guide. The teachings of the Stoics, which emphasize self-control, discipline, and emotional resilience, are invaluable tools for dealing with the challenges of everyday life. Learning to live according to Stoic principles means accepting what we cannot change, while also taking control of what depends on us. Women who live alone have the opportunity to apply these principles to their lives, creating a solid foundation upon which to build their happiness and well-being. The path to emotional self-sufficiency is long and complex, but it is also incredibly liberating. The resilience developed through solitude is one of the most powerful forces a woman can possess. Every difficulty faced alone is a step forward toward greater self-awareness and a more fulfilling life. Solitude is never empty. It is full of opportunities to grow, evolve, and become a stronger, more conscious person. As we move forward in our journey, it becomes evident that living alone is not merely about physical isolation, it is about the cultivation of inner peace, autonomy, and resilience. The emotional independence that comes with solitude provides the foundation for a life rooted in self-awareness, free from the dependency often imposed by external relationships. This emotional fortitude allows women to embrace challenges, not as burdens, but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Living alone, then, becomes a conscious choice to empower oneself, to create a life based on personal values, and to develop the strength needed to face life's uncertainties with grace. Carl Jung's concept of individuation becomes crucial at this stage of personal development. Individuation, according to Jung, is the process of integrating the unconscious with the conscious, creating a harmonious balance within oneself. For women living alone, this process is both liberating and transformative. By confronting their unconscious fears, desires, and unspoken truths, they begin to understand the full depth of their psyche. This understanding is not only about gaining insight into who they are, but also about reclaiming parts of themselves that may have been neglected or misunderstood. The journey toward individuation helps women break free from societal expectations and begin to live authentically, not as they are told to live, but as they are meant to live. This process of self-integration is crucial for emotional resilience. A woman who has learned to navigate her internal world, her fears, desires, frustrations, and joys without relying on external validation is less susceptible to the unpredictable tides of life. She has learned the art of managing her emotions and is equipped with the tools to respond to life's challenges with patience, strength, and understanding. Through this emotional resilience, women who live alone not only survive, they thrive. They become capable of facing adversity head-on, without crumbling under pressure, because they have learned to trust themselves and their inner wisdom. Furthermore, the act of living alone also provides a powerful opportunity for personal reflection and growth. In the quiet solitude, there is time to process past experiences, heal emotional wounds, and gain clarity about the future. For many women, living alone means having the space to rediscover their passions, explore new interests, and redefine what happiness and fulfillment look like for them. This space for personal exploration is not only important for emotional healing, but also for setting new intentions and goals that align with their true selves. One of the most profound aspects of living alone is the opportunity to build a deep relationship with oneself. In the absence of constant external interaction, there is more room to listen to one's inner voice and honor one's needs. Women who live alone develop a greater sense of self-worth and self-love because they are no longer seeking validation from others. Instead, they learn to validate themselves, to nourish their own spirit, and to provide the care and attention they need. This self-sufficiency is liberating, as it removes the pressure of conforming to others' expectations and allows women to pursue their own dreams and aspirations. Moreover, living alone fosters the development of strong personal boundaries. In solitude, women learn to protect their emotional and mental well-being by establishing clear boundaries with others and with themselves. This ability to protect their energy and maintain their personal space is a critical aspect of self-care and emotional resilience. It also contributes to a more balanced and peaceful life, where women can focus on their own needs and desires without feeling overwhelmed or overextended by the demands of others. This journey of self-empowerment is not without its challenges, but it is precisely these challenges that lead to growth. The solitude that women experience while living alone allows them to confront their vulnerabilities and weaknesses without judgment. They learn to embrace their imperfections and see them as opportunities for growth. It is through this process of self-acceptance that women become empowered to live their lives authentically, free from the constraints of societal norms and expectations. In many ways, living alone acts as a form of emotional alchemy. Just as the alchemist transforms base metals into gold, women who live alone transform their vulnerabilities and struggles into strength and wisdom. They learn that their greatest power lies not in their relationships with others, but in their relationship with themselves. Through this process, they become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and confidence. In this sense, the journey of living alone is not one of isolation, but one of self-discovery and empowerment. It is a journey that leads to a deeper understanding of the self, a stronger sense of self-worth, and a more fulfilling life. Women who choose to live alone are not running away from the world. They're stepping into their own power, embracing their autonomy, and creating lives that reflect their deepest values and desires. As we continue on this path of self-discovery, it becomes clear that the journey of living alone is not just about emotional independence, but also about creating a deeper connection with our inner wisdom. The solitude provides a fertile ground for self-reflection, allowing women to explore their personal strengths, weaknesses, and desires without the distractions of external influences. This process of introspection is not always easy. It requires courage to face uncomfortable truths and the vulnerability. To confront the parts of ourselves that we may have ignored or suppressed. But in doing so, we discover a newfound clarity that empowers us to make conscious decisions that align with our truest desires. Jung's concept of the shadow is particularly relevant here. The shadow, according to Jung, represents the unconscious aspects of ourselves that we tend to hide or deny. These parts of our personality often contain the qualities we find difficult to accept or that society has taught us to reject. However, embracing the shadow is an essential part of the individuation process. Women who live alone have the opportunity to confront their own shadows, to explore the aspects of themselves that they may have neglected or repressed, and to integrate them into their conscious identity. This integration leads to a more balanced, authentic self, one that is not defined by external expectations, but by an inner sense of purpose and self-acceptance. Living alone also provides women with the opportunity to develop their creative potential. When we are not constantly focused on external relationships or obligations, we have the space to tap into our creativity and explore new avenues of expression, whether through art, writing, music, or other forms of self-expression. Women who live alone are free to explore their creative instincts without judgment or limitation. This creative freedom allows them to discover new passions and talents, further deepening their sense of self-worth and fulfillment. In many ways, the act of living alone becomes a form of spiritual practice. It is through solitude that women can cultivate mindfulness, deepen their spiritual practices, and reconnect with their higher selves. Without the distractions of constant social interaction, there is more room for reflection, meditation, and contemplation. This spiritual connection, which is unique to each individual, helps women stay grounded and centered in the midst of life's challenges. It provides them with the strength and clarity needed to navigate difficulties with grace and resilience. One of the most profound lessons that women can learn from living alone is the importance of self-compassion. When we live alone, we are often faced with our own flaws and imperfections, and it is easy to be critical of ourselves during difficult moments. However, the key to thriving in solitude is learning to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a close friend. Self-compassion allows us to embrace our struggles without judgment, to acknowledge our emotional pain, and to nurture ourselves back to a place of healing and strength. It is through this compassion that we develop the resilience to face life's challenges with a sense of calm and self-assurance. As women embrace their journey of living alone, they also learn the importance of self-reliance. Self-reliance does not mean that we cannot ask for help when needed, but rather that we trust ourselves to handle the challenges of life with confidence. It is about knowing that we have the strength within us to navigate difficult situations, to make decisions, and to trust our instincts. Self-reliance also means learning to take responsibility for our own happiness and well-being. By becoming self-reliant, women free themselves from the need to depend on others for validation or approval, and instead, they become their own source of strength and support. This journey of self-reliance is closely tied to the practice of emotional resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from setbacks, and to continue moving forward despite challenges. Women who live alone develop emotional resilience because they learn to face difficult emotions head-on, without relying on others to fix them. Instead, they cultivate the tools and strategies needed to manage their emotions, to cope with stress, and to maintain a sense of balance in the face of life's uncertainties. Emotional resilience empowers women to take control of their lives and to create a sense of stability and security, even in the midst of chaos. Another important aspect of living alone is the opportunity to cultivate deep, meaningful connections with others, not through dependency, but through mutual respect and shared values. Women who live alone learn that relationships are not about completing or fixing each other, but about supporting one another in their individual journeys of growth. When we live alone, we have the freedom to choose our relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and compatibility. We are no longer motivated by the need to find someone to complete us, but rather by the desire to share our lives with people who align with our values and aspirations. This shift in perspective allows women to experience relationships that are based on true connection rather than emotional dependency. They learn that the most meaningful connections come from a place of personal strength and self-awareness, rather than from a need for validation or approval. This creates relationships that are healthier, more fulfilling, and more sustainable. As we progress in this journey of personal growth, living alone becomes an embodiment of autonomy and empowerment. It is through solitude that women can fully reclaim their personal power and begin to shape their lives according to their own vision and values. Living alone is a deliberate choice that allows women to cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness, freedom, and resilience. It enables them to break free from societal pressures, expectations, and norms that often define who they are and how they should live. By embracing their solitude, women gain the ability to live life on their own terms, making choices based on their inner wisdom rather than external influences. The solitude that comes with living alone provides the space to cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness. Two crucial elements for personal growth. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. When we live alone, we have the opportunity to practice mindfulness in a way that deepens our connection to ourselves. We become more attuned to our emotions, our desires, and our needs, allowing us to make decisions that are in alignment with our authentic selves. This mindfulness also helps women navigate difficult situations with greater clarity and composure, enabling them to respond to life's challenges in a more thoughtful and intentional manner. Self-awareness, on the other hand, is the ability to understand and recognize our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It is the foundation of emotional intelligence and is essential for personal growth. Women who live alone are often forced to confront their own patterns of behavior and thought, which provides an opportunity for self-reflection and personal development. This self-awareness allows them to identify limiting beliefs, unhealthy habits, and emotional triggers, giving them the tools to make positive changes in their lives. By becoming more self-aware, women are able to make empowered choices that support their well-being and personal growth. Furthermore, living alone provides women with the freedom to prioritize their own needs and desires. Without the pressure of fulfilling the expectations of others, women can focus on what truly matters to them. Whether it is pursuing a passion, developing a career, or exploring personal interests, living alone offers the freedom to make decisions that are in alignment with their values and goals. This freedom is not only empowering, but it also fosters a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction as women can live a life that reflects their true selves. Another significant aspect of living alone is the opportunity to build resilience through self-sufficiency. When women live alone, they become their own source of support and care. They learn to rely on themselves for emotional and practical needs, which fosters a sense of independence and strength. This self-sufficiency builds resilience, as women learn to navigate life's challenges without relying on others to solve their problems. They become more capable of handling adversity and maintaining their emotional balance in the face of difficulties. This resilience is not only about surviving difficult situations, but also about thriving in the face of challenges. Women who live alone develop the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to find solutions to problems, and to maintain a sense of stability even when life feels uncertain. This emotional resilience is an essential tool for navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and confidence. It allows women to maintain their sense of self-worth, regardless of external circumstances, and to continue moving forward in pursuit of their goals and aspirations. The process of living alone also enables women to embrace their independence and sovereignty. It is a declaration of personal freedom, an affirmation of their ability to live life on their own terms, free from the constraints of societal expectations. By living alone, women reclaim their sovereignty and power, recognizing that they are the creators of their own lives. This sense of independence empowers women to make decisions that are in their best interest, rather than conforming to the desires or expectations of others. It is through this empowerment that women become capable of creating a life that reflects their true desires and values. Moreover, living alone allows women to develop a deeper sense of self-love and acceptance. In the absence of external validation, women are forced to cultivate self-compassion and appreciate their worth from within. This self-love is not based on appearance or external achievements, but on an inner recognition of their inherent value as individuals. By learning to love themselves unconditionally, women who live alone build a foundation of self-worth that is unshakable, regardless of external circumstances. This self-love also extends to the way women treat themselves during difficult times. Women who live alone learn to be kind to themselves, to nurture their own emotional well-being, and to offer themselves the same care and compassion that they would give to a loved one. This practice of self-love is essential for maintaining emotional resilience, as it allows women to face challenges with a sense of inner peace and acceptance. It is through self-love that women are able to create a life that is aligned with their deepest desires and values, and to live with a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Living alone, then, becomes a powerful tool for personal transformation. It offers the space to cultivate emotional resilience, self-sufficiency, and mindfulness, all of which are essential for personal growth. Women who choose to live alone are not isolating themselves from the world, but rather creating the conditions necessary for their own transformation. They are choosing to live a life that is authentic, empowered, and in alignment with their true selves. This journey of self-discovery and growth is not always easy, but it is ultimately one of the most rewarding experiences a woman can have. As we come to the final stage of this journey, it becomes clear that living alone is not just about independence, emotional resilience, or self-sufficiency. It is about living authentically, unapologetically, and with a sense of purpose that aligns with one's true self. Women who choose to live alone are taking charge of their lives, creating spaces where they can be fully themselves, free from the constraints of external expectations. This choice is not a rejection of relationships or connection with others. Rather, it is a commitment to cultivating a strong foundation within oneself, so that any relationship, whether romantic or platonic, is built on mutual respect, quality, and shared values. The ultimate power in living alone lies in the ability to become whole within oneself. As Carl Jung taught, the journey of individuation is about integrating all parts of ourselves, embracing both the light and the shadow, and creating a sense of wholeness. When a woman lives alone, she is given the space and freedom to do just that. She confronts her own vulnerabilities, embraces her imperfections, and creates a life that is deeply rooted in self-awareness. This process of integration allows women to step into their full power, free from the need for external validation. They learn to trust themselves, to make decisions that align with their inner truth, and to take ownership of their lives and their happiness. Living alone also fosters an unparalleled sense of clarity. Without the constant noise and distractions of external relationships and societal pressures, women can hear their own inner voice more clearly. This clarity is essential for making informed decisions that are in alignment with their deepest desires and values. It allows them to move forward with confidence, knowing that they are living a life that reflects their true selves, not the expectations or desires of others. In this sense, living alone becomes an act of profound self-awareness and self-respect. Furthermore, the solitude that comes with living alone allows women to cultivate deep spiritual practices. Whether through meditation, prayer, or contemplation, quiet space creates an environment conducive to inner reflection and connection with a higher power or purpose. Women who live alone often find that they are able to deepen their spiritual practices, cultivating a sense of peace and fulfillment that comes from within. This connection to something greater than themselves provides a source of strength and guidance, helping women navigate life's challenges with a sense of grace and purpose. As women embrace the solitude of living alone, they also become more attuned to their own emotional and physical needs. They learn to listen to their bodies, to honor their emotions, and to give themselves the care and attention they need. This self-awareness is a powerful tool for creating a balanced and healthy life, where both physical and emotional well-being are prioritized. Women who live alone often find that they are able to take better care of themselves, making choices that promote health, happiness, and fulfillment. Living alone also provides women with the opportunity to forge deeper, more meaningful connections with others. As they learn to live authentically and with purpose, they attract relationships that are grounded in mutual respect and shared values. The relationships they form are no longer based on need or dependency, but on genuine connection and alignment. These meaningful relationships enhance their lives and support their personal growth, helping them continue on their journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment. Moreover, living alone allows women to develop a sense of autonomy that extends beyond their personal lives. It enables them to take ownership of their professional lives, to pursue their careers with passion and dedication, and to create financial independence. This sense of autonomy is liberating, as it allows women to make decisions based on their own aspirations. Rather than being influenced by the expectations of others, it fosters a sense of self-sufficiency that empowers women to take control of their future and create the life they truly desire. Ultimately, living alone is not a solitary experience. It is a transformative one. It provides women with the space to explore who they are, to cultivate emotional resilience, to embrace their independence, and to create a life that is authentic and fulfilling. It is through this journey of self-discovery that women develop the strength to navigate life. As challenges with grace, the clarity to make decisions aligned with their true selves, and the emotional resilience to face any adversity that comes their way. The decision to live alone is not about rejecting others or isolating oneself from the world. It is about choosing to prioritize personal growth, self-awareness, and emotional well-being. It is an act of self-love, self-respect, and self-empowerment. Women who live alone are not defined by their relationships with others, but by their relationship with themselves. They are the architects of their own lives, creating a reality that reflects their deepest values and desires. In the end, living alone becomes a profound journey of personal transformation, one that leads to greater happiness, fulfillment, and a deeper connection with the self. As women continue on this journey, they discover that living alone is not a limitation, but an opportunity to live life to its fullest. It is a chance to embrace one's independence, explore new passions, and create a life of purpose and meaning. And through this journey, women learn that they are enough just as they are, and that their true power lies in their ability to live authentically and unapologetically.